good enough. Let's see. That may not be. Hold on. All right. Oh no, I think that's kind of dark. Well, greetings, if anyone's on here yet, and welcome to Bloom from Within Love. Thank you for joining me, with me, Bloomy. I hope this is, I'm trying to see if this is a good enough visual, and I don't think that it is for some reason. Give me a second here. I may have to do some moving around stuff here to get some better lighting. Hold on. I really wanted to try to have some dimmed effect, but because of the theme of the read, however, I really need you all to be able to see as well. I mean, doesn't do any good to have a reading that you can't see nothing, So it's like I'm trying to create this dimmed effect, but at the same time, I need you all to be able to see. So I may have to change that whole idea here. So my apologies. I may have to cut on brighter lights, but I was trying to create a dimmed atmosphere because of the theme of the reading being sensuality. Sensuality, dating, question of, okay, let me see, does that help a little bit? Let me see. Probably not, huh? Well, I tried. I tried without cutting on too much bright light. Hold on. No, huh? Bummer. Maybe if I move the candles. If I have to cut the light on, I will, basically. So just give me a moment. If we have to go light bright, then we'll go light bright. All right, if that's what it takes. We may not. We actually may be good, and I'll just probably end up holding the cards up as we go about. I think that's what I'll do. If I feel I should show it to you, so take a look at it. So I hope you all are doing well tonight, today, this afternoon, even I would say that, because it depends on when you click on, and it also depends on where you are on the globe, right? So this reading is inspired, by, many of us are probably asking the question, am I ready to date? Am I ready to get back out there? Am I tapped into my sensuality? How confident do I feel in my own skin and my own sexuality? And, you know what I mean? Because if we're going to get back out there and dating, in my personal humble opinion, I feel like it's important that we first feel comfortable within ourselves, truly. I mean, really, truly in our sensuality, sexuality, that we start looking at all of that, that we know what our body likes, um, that we have explored, that we feel comfortable with that. Um, yeah. And then, if we feel like we've needed to reinvent ourselves, if we've gone through maybe a lot of heartbreak, challenges, especially with time. It depends on how old you are, of course. And I do realize that I may have an audience of people that may be in different age ranges, different cultures, different genders, backgrounds. So it depends on where you land, of course, in that spectrum. Um, and so, with time, all these things starts to fluctuate. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm 44 years old. So, you know, most people don't really believe that, but I am. And, so things change, So if you've been, out of the dating game for a while, or if you've recently come out of a relationship, and so now, you're like, okay, well, I've taken a little break and now I think I may be ready, but am I ready? Right? So that's what inspired me to do this. And so, with that being said, we have several different types of cards out. We do have some chakra cards. I think you guys saw me use the chakra cards last night, those of you who saw last night's reading. And the reason why I have the chakra cards in this case is because, the chakra cards can work the same way in terms of pointing to us any area that may need strengthening our focus, our attention in the area of building up either self confidence, if there's any chakra blockages when it comes to confidence, or anything to do with trying to date, so chakra cards can certainly point to a direction for that. Okay, then of course, anytime I deal with sensuality, I always bring out my sex deck. It's a regular tarot deck, but it's sexual in nature. And so I bring out this deck because the images and the graphics are sexual. So you will see, for those of you who are sensitive, just know that the sex deck have images that are showing um, sexual acts. They're showing sexual body parts and things like that. Okay. And then I have your regular standard tarot decks tech. And that can't talk today. Retrogrades. Hi, hi, hi. Tarot deck, but this particular tarot deck is more of it has a certain theme as well, but it's not sexual in nature, okay? And then I have a fortune telling deck, which is totally non traditional. This one has kind of like a storytelling images that kind of points to a certain theme. Okay, so this may just show something in terms of a particular theme or area that maybe you need to look at, or, that perhaps either in terms of either your sexuality, confidence. Um, it can be anything, but it will tie into the question that you're answering if you're ready to date. It can be something like, oh, you still are dealing with a heartache, or you need to revisit, this, or maybe something with finance, or, it'll just point, it's going to show something, to tie it all in together. And then, of course, I have some, affirmations, some positive affirmations at the end, because, basically I do want to, kind of uplift you guys in terms of, what's some good affirmations or something to get you guys in a high vibe in terms of, what, at the end of the day, the choice is yours. It's free will, and just uplift your spirits in terms of directing you there once you determine you are ready, and what, as the reading is laid out, as you work through whatever you feel like you need to work through, as it resonates, some high vibrational positive affirmations getting you in the direction that you want to go in terms of your sensuality, getting connected to yourself in that way. And then when you are ready to date again, okay? So now with that being said, let's ring the bell. I love this. Let's ring the bell for a kiss. Yes, that is what it says. Ring for a kiss. Okay? I thought it was fitting for the reading. Literally ring for a kiss. So there we go. All right. Let's take a nice deep breath and just sit for a second. Let's start with our chakra cards, and then I think I want to start with the chakra, and then I think I want to go with the fortune telling card because it's going to give a theme, and then we'll just get into the tarot after that. Okay, that's what we'll do. I think that'll make sense. So we'll put these two this way. Yep. So excuse me, sorry about that. All right, guys. All right. Thank you, Divine Source, Mother Gaia, guides, and masters, my beautiful galactic friends. Highest vibrational loving energy. Only what is beneficial and benevolent and loving and clear, and what's going to bring hope and answers, support, strength for those that are on this path and journey and that are thinking about dating again. Maybe those that recently got out of a relationship and have done some healing work and they're considering that. Maybe those that want to tap into their sensuality and maybe want to renew or refresh sensuality and wondering if they're indeed ready. Regarding the chakra systems, as it relates to this reading, what is something that we need to look at? Would be helpful, some guidance concerning that as it relates to this reading, as it relates to the intention, dating, sensuality, getting back out there, as it relates to our journey, where we are, where we desire to be. Our chakra systems. Please and thank you. It will be helpful. Please and thank you. Chakra systems, sensuality, dating again, connecting, transitioning, chakra systems, connecting, sensuality, moving forward, dating, chakra systems, moving forward, connecting to sensuality, dating again, moving forward, sensuality, chakra systems, dating again. Please and thank you. Please and okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Can you guys see that? This is actually red, and it says complacency. All right, so I'm not gonna get into it yet. I'm gonna try to do this one different. So I'm gonna pull all the cards and then I'm gonna read. I already know where this is going, but I'm gonna just pull the cards and lay them out. So what we got for chakra is the root chakra, and we have complacency. All right, so I'm gonna lay that out. All right, so let's put that there. Let me get the fortune telling now. So I'm gonna try to go quick. Lord knows I'll be forever. I'm trying. I'm learning. At the bottom of the chakra deck, we got orange, which is sacral chakra, and guilt. Oh my. So I can kind of see where that's going, but we'll talk about that. All right. So with the fortune telling deck, what is the central theme that lies in these cards as relates to the intention with the reading for tapping into sensuality and moving forward for dating? The question being, are we ready? What is the central theme concerning sensuality as relates to dating again? Question being, are we ready? Sensuality, dating again. Are we ready? What is the central theme in the fortune telling deck? Okay, please and thank you. What is this? Okay. Jeez. Let's see this. Need glasses too. Jesus Christ. Let me see. Hold on. One moment, guys. Wow. Got it. Disappointments. Here you go. Now this, let me push it back a little bit. Like I said, this is the fortune telling deck. 10. This is a coffin. And it gives you a storyline to the right. I'm not going to get into it yet. I'll talk about it. I already know where this is going to. Oh, man. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say oh, man, because you guys are going to be like, oh, what is she trying to say? Like, but I get it. I can already kind of sense and feel and understand. I'm like, oh, I get it. Right. I get why the question is. I can already sense and feel why. Yeah. Okay, let's see. All right, moving on so I can try to keep it hopefully not as lingering as I typically do. All right. Now we're going to use the standard tarot here. Wait. Yep. All right. All right. So at the bottom of the fortune telling deck, we have the Jack of Spades, and that one is the Shepherd. Intense love. Aww. Aww. Okay. We'll get to that too. Interesting. It's already been very interesting. All right, here in the Standard Tarot, as it relates to this reading, sensuality, tapping back into sensuality, question being, are we ready for dating again? Are we ready? What's going on with our connection to our sensuality? Shuffle one more time. Okay. All right. Sensuality again. Are we ready? Are we ready to date? Are we truly ready? Please and thank you. We want to know, are we connected to our sensuality? And are we truly ready to date again? Knight of Swords. All snaps. That's not bad. So if you guys don't mind me, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. It's Two of Coins, but basically it's the Two of Pentacles. All right, let's move on to the second deck. All right, there we go. We really want to know our sensuality. Are we truly connected? Are we truly integrated? Holy mind, body, soul, spirit to our true sensuality, sexuality. ready? Today's again. Are we ready to explore sexually again with someone else? You really want to know. Sometimes we think we know. Sometimes we think we are. Are we truly ready? In terms of our sexuality, this aspect of reading, are we ready sexually? Okay. Please and thank you. Are we ready? Are we truly ready? We want to know. Please and thank you. Sensuality, sexuality. Are we connected to our sensuality and our sexuality? And are we truly ready to date and to have sex again with someone else? Please and thank you. Are we ready? Please and thank you. Ooh, are we ready? Really want to know. Please and thank you. Ooh. Please and thank you. We really want to know. Oh. Oh. Woo. All right. I'm not going to say nothing, but I'm just going to show it, and I'll talk about it in a minute. Wait, let me do this today. I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but yeah. This represents the Four of Wands in this deck. Yeah. Yeah, you see correctly. You see him doing what he is doing. Yeah. Somebody is certainly ready to be tasted, or however you want to say that. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So that's new beginnings. Whew. Okay. All right. Now that I've got all of the cards out, we'll leave the affirmations for at the tail end here. Now we can just get into the reading. I'm over here sweating already. Jeez. Every time I do the sex deck, I always start like blushing and feeling all hot and bothered. Okay. So, all right. So let's start with the chakra card that we got first and foremost. Okay. So complacency was the card that came out. Like I said again, was to do with the root chakra. Okay, that's the color red, and it said complacency. All right, and so as you can see in the card here, you see all like the trees are all barren and flowers all withered and clouds, and it's old grandma, here, and she's kind of sitting in this rocking chair and kind of looking all like disgruntled or whatever. I mean, we know what the word complacency means. And so now sticking with the theme of the read. Okay, I don't want to just give you guys like definitions. That's not what this is. I read intuitively, then I connect it to what the card is about. And so obviously, most of you will need to deal with your root chakra, okay, as it relates to this reading. We're talking about sensuality. We're talking about, are we ready again today? So, whatever you've gone through, there are some of you who, like I mentioned when I barely first came on, you've gone through some stuff. And of course, quite naturally, it'll cause some sense of complacency. Okay, it's caused you to question your identity. It's caused you to question, where do you belong? Where do you fit in the dating world? Who are you? Who are you? What do you like? What fits you? What suits you? Your beliefs, even regarding dating, your beliefs about relationships, your beliefs about sensuality, your beliefs about sexuality has been called into question, and you've grown complacent in part. It's to do with, all the things that you've gone through with dating. In part, it's to do with, how long, age range, because, once you pass a certain age, that plays a factor in it. If you're all a 20, well, hell, you ain't, live long enough and then come back and talk to me. But, when once you hit 40, yeah, you got something under your belt. And chances are, it's created this complacency because you're probably tired. You've probably dealt with a lot of jackasses, jerks, good for nothings. You've probably gotten your heart broken. There's been a lot of patterns, and you may not know why. Okay, so um, even though you desire something, there is a complacency to try. There's a complacency to, it's almost like, oh, to hell with it, And the reason why I can say that is because I've been there. I can relate. It's a complacency where it's just like, oh, hell, shit. Like, I just, rather not. But the good news is, you know, if set your intention, and I'm not saying there's no quick fix to anything, but I do believe that with our intention, truly things can be as easy or as hard as we want them to be. I happen to believe that. Um, by setting that intention and asking for all the help and guidance, I even see like the shadow. If you look at the shadow over her, to me, it talks about shadow work. It also talks about ancestry, Akashic record stuff. I can get way deep into all that, but I'm not going to do that because I want to keep this kind of simple. But that tells me, like, if you're willing to, go into like meditation, stillness, get some energy work and set intention regarding relationships, just regarding your identity, dating, all of that, the pain, the patterns, like releasing that stuff, maybe getting some Reiki done, all of that, you'd be surprised at how this complacency may shift just from doing that. Okay. Without getting no deep psychotherapy and, all this other stuff, you may be surprised, getting energy work, getting crystals that correlate to the root chakra, setting specific intentions, affirmations, um, salt baths, anything that resonates with you to help get you out of the complacency as the foundation to catapult you forward. Okay. So that's most of you, majority of you, the reasons are probably a lot different from one another. But to deal with complacency on a large scale, is energetic mostly. It's energetic, dealing with the chakras and meridians. But if you want to go super way deep, then you're going to talk about Akashic records, and that's a whole nother animal. Okay. But because that's some deep, 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 deep things we inherited things that were there, our soul's path, soul's journey, things we carry and all that stuff. But yeah, okay. But to get that complacency, get you out of that, I call it, Groundhog's Day. But, get you out of that zone where you feel like you owe grandma or grandpa, sitting in the winter, all the time. And you're just like, as relates to dating, you know what I mean? So you can get past that. At the bottom of the deck, it was guilt, right? I said that at the bottom of the deck. Hold up. And it's funny how, when I saw that, the first thing that I thought about is, sometimes we deal with guilt as relates to sensuality or dating, getting back out there, sensuality, sexuality, dating for so many different reasons. Um, whether it be, you see somebody over in the background, it can be because you're taking care of people and you feel like you don't have a right. It's belief systems, and this orange is the sacral chakra. You feel like, you got to, she has like this halo over her head. Like, so it's like this perceived notion, that, she has to be this saint. She has to, take care of everybody else. She has to self-sacrifice. And if she's not, being Cinderella and, you know, taking care of everybody all the time, then it's this guilt. Like this is her lot in life is to be of service to everybody. So there is no room for sensuality. There is no room for dating because she has to take care of everybody. And by the time she's done with that, really and truly, then she's probably too tired. Um, and so like there's this sense of guilt there. And so the sacral chakra, which is above the navel, color is orange, and again, to get that imbalance, it's that energy work, it's meditation, mantras, yoga, those types of things. If that resonates with you, deep breathing, walks in nature, art, anything on the creative side, whatever would resonate with you, to get you to tap back into things that make you smile, things that are fun, things that are lighthearted, to get you to release that. But it's belief systems too. Getting that into balance, anything that you feel guilty about, anything that's suppressed, maybe something that is hidden. It could be a projection because sometimes we come from dysfunction and it's belief systems that's been projected onto us. If you come from a lot of toxicity and people made you feel bad because you didn't do what they wanted you to do, kind of thing. So that plays a role. So look into that. Ask your guides, God, whoever, whatever you resonate with to, show you, because that's what some of you are dealing with, to help you to release if there's any guilt, from any past relationships. And that's a big one. Because sometimes past relationships, we had some toxicity, maybe they played mind games and maybe there's some lingering effects in there. We wonder if, we did everything right or if we could have done this right or if the yada, yada, so tapping in and making sure that we release those things, right? Okay, so let's move on. Now with the fortune telling, it said it was a coffin, the number 10, which is the, to me, this kind of represents either the death card or the 10 of swords, disappointments. And I asked in the reading, what was the heart of the matter concerning sensuality and whether or not we were ready to date again. And so this is what came out, the Death and Ten of Swords. And so the good thing about this, it may sound and seem like this is not a good thing, but it is in a sense because it 10 represents the ending and completion of something. Okay. So it's that there has been so much disappointment in dating. There has been so much disappointment and death in dating and sensuality, even in your sensuality. And so, in other words, your sexual experiences. Um, for some of you, not all of you, there's certainly been some good experience, but sexually speaking, but a lot of disappointing ones, but only because um, some of you, okay, some of you feel like you have spent years and years trying to study and understand your sexual partners. You were a very diligent lover and caring lover. And as time proceeded, you started eventually feeling like nobody really truly cared to be that way with you. That it was really more about them just getting what they wanted. And so it eventually wore on you, and it started to become disappointing, to where you're kind of like, is it even worth being bothered? If hate to say it, and that's why this card is here, because it's kind of like, is it even, there was so much energy you put into that, to where you're like, is it even, hell, if it ain't gonna be mutual, then is it even worth it? If if they ain't gonna put in like the same way. And that was at the heart. I asked, what's at the heart in terms of, the sensuality and sexuality concern? What was at the heart? And this was it. Too many disappointments in dating, too many disappointments in sensuality and sexuality. But the good thing is, it's at the end. It is ran its full course. The cycle has completed. So I'm glad about that. And here's why. Because at the bottom of the deck, you got a new Jack City, baby. You got, let me see here, the Jack, which is the shepherd, an intense love of a lifetime, and a strong, this is intense love of a lifetime and a strong fellow feeling. I think that's what it says. So yeah, so that's why I was happy about it, because that's telling me that this is the potential, this is what's coming. Now that cycle has completed and ended, these are the options that are being presented. Intense justice, baby. This is what's coming. These are the options that are being presented to you as you move forward, right? Indicates intense love of a life. Okay, look at that. Intense. I can dig it. Strong fellow and feelings. I can dig that. Can y'all dig it? Right. So that's why I got excited when I saw that. And guess what's right up under this Jack? It's a queen, baby. Oh, ooh, okay. This is a pair. Hold up. Cheerfulness, wine, symbol of cheerfulness and gaiety. It's a queen. See, I like when this happens. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. It's a pair. I'm trying to tell y'all what I see, what I know, what I see. Mm-hmm. Yep, first. What else is here? Hold up, hold up. Mm. All right. Okay, so moving on. Now let's get to the tarot. So we asked if we were ready. Are we ready to date? Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? We got, hold up. It's funny how the light is changing every time I move my hand. Um, Interesting. Um, we got the Knight of Swords. Yep. So I know this is an interesting looking knight in this deck, right? But look, he's ready. He's playing chess. He's got the chess game out, right? He's thinking, okay? He is calculating and strategizing, all right? So with that being said, certainly there are some of you who are, really preparing, you know, preparing strategically, not haphazardly. You are really preparing to communicate. Swords energy is about communication. So some of you are, getting online dating. You are talking to people, you see the chess, pieces here. All right. So some of you are, communicating with people, but you're being very smart and wise about it. So you're strategic. You're not being haphazard. You're not being fast and loose. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You have a very wise approach, but there's movement. It's certainly movement. The Knight of Swords is, there's movement with the Knight of Swords. He's not stagnant. So, you are ready, but you're being cautious, and it's probably because of the things that we just talked about prior. You know, there are some questions and concerns you have. There's a little bit of the complacency because of some of the things you've gone through. And so you're trying to kind of decipher through all of that. And but you are working through. Most of you are working through it, but you're trying to keep the movement moving forward. It's kind of slow. There's a little bit of the complacency, okay? And then some of you are discovering, there's a few things going on. You're trying to learn balance with this Two of Pentacles, okay? That's at the bottom of the deck. The Two of Pentacles, that's at the bottom of the deck, right? So some of you are trying to learn how to balance everything out, getting back into the dating world again. Like, okay, how do you be dating, deal with work, deal with children, deal with yourself, deal with everything again, right? And then also you're discovering that you have options. You're discovering that you don't have to just zone in on no one person online, and be like, okay, I'm with this one. You're discovering now, like, no, I need to be wise. I need to learn the lessons from my past. I need to take my time. I also need to just be clear and honest with everyone I'm communicating with, but not be forced, not be rushed, and keep my options open, and just be honest with people that I am keeping my options open. And yeah, and you're realizing that you have options and you're juggling those options, but you're, perhaps some of you are just doing it with integrity, and that's how you do that. You do it with integrity. which keeps you in in the right place, karmically speaking, when you handle things the right way. Um, and then of course, like I said, there are some of you who are trying to balance everything out. Like, how do you balance work life, home life, dating life, trying to get back used to something like that again? Okay. But the question being, are you ready? According to the cards, it's like, well, it's a yeah and no, but it's a yes. It's a yes if you can continue to work through the some of the challenges that may be coming up as you're dating, or as you're putting yourself back out there online, or whatever it is, as you're seeing this reluctancy with that complacency part with the chakras, that came up, and some of the issues that came up from the past with the death card, um, and things like that, that's due to the past disappointments, right? Because even as like I said, you looked at the bottom of the deck, we had that the death, but then we had the jack, right? So there's positive movement here. There's good things coming. Um, so let's keep moving forward here. Then when we got to the sex deck, I mean, you don't get no better than the Four of Wands. Okay, Four of Wands in a traditional deck, honestly speaking, you guys, denotes twin flame marriage type stuff, soulmatey kind of stuff. It don't have to be, but it usually do. Okay, and this is the sex deck, so it's kind of like you see him, the Four of Fire, which is the Four of Wands. um you see him indulging in her, in a very unique way. The question was, are we ready? Are we connected to our sensuality? Right? Are we ready to engage sexually again? Are we ready to date and engage sexually? Well, the answer doesn't get more clear than this, right? So, but to be more specific, that the card is saying, yes, we are, but look at the content. You know, it's saying that for most of you, you are ready to do it, but you're ready to do it when it's right. I know, you may say, well, it's some guy that's just really going to town down there on some girl. Yeah, it's a sex day, but this is the Four of Wands. So for most of you, you are ready, but there's a but. You want meaningful sex, believe it or not. Most of you want meaningful sex. You want sex. You don't mind raunchy sex, okay? It's not that your sex has to be boring or, traditional in a sense of you can only do it in a bed and, the guy on top of the girl. You don't mind having adventurous sex like you see in the picture, okay? But most of you desire meaningful sex in a sense of having soulful connection with the person that you're having sex with. You want it to mean something. That's why it's the Four of Wands. You want it to mean something. You want it to be with someone that actually cares for you. You want it to be with someone that you're actually connected to. That is what you're ready for. That's the caveat. Otherwise, it would have been any other sex card in this deck, but it's not. It's the Four of Wands. So that's telling me that most of you have done the work and that you are now in a place in your life where you no longer desire shallow, frivolous, meaningless sex. Not that it's anything wrong with those things, though. It's not about judging those things or people who are in places in life where they just prefer to have more shallow sex. It's a time and a place for all of that. And we all have a right to that if that's what we want at any given time. Okay? But for most of you, Four of Wands came out because you now realize that, yes, you want to have adventure. You like role play. You like SMM. You like a little rough sex sometimes. You like a lot of little some stuff. And your past lovers can probably attest to that. But you desire connection because that's when you are your most fiery. You become disinterested sexually when you discover that a person does not care about you. You lose desire. You found that out in your last relationship. Your sexual drive wanes when you start to feel like you're not cared for. And because you discovered that, you realize that it really doesn't do you any good to try to kind of get out there to create these sexual experiences, because what's going to happen is you're going to lose the interest, you're going to lose the heat. And you're going to lose it because if that person doesn't care for you and you're seeing clearly by their actions, you're not going to be able to keep that going, and they're going to end up doing what they do anyway. They're going to end up cheating. They're going to end up, lying, cheating, doing what they do, because you're not going to be able to, continue to feed the sexual bedroom the same way. And that's an awesome discovery, because now you know yourself. And knowing yourself is good because now you can eliminate and basically just cut out all other things and say to yourself, all right, well, I know now. And then, as I said, it's not about judgment, because for another group of you, listen, if you decide at any given point you just want some sex, because sex is beautiful. Sex is very sensual. It's sacred, actually, but again, it's really about the way we approach things. You guys heard me speak of integrity. If you decide at any given moment that, hey, maybe I don't want a relationship right now, maybe I'm not quite ready, maybe I'm not in a position at this time, or maybe I just haven't found someone that I really deem really worthy for a higher level of commitment, but I desire physical connection, right? There's nothing wrong with that determination either. The approach needs to be handled properly. Communication, right? Boundaries, communication, all clear on all sides, right? Whomever you decide to sleep with, they need to know that. You need to be very clear with them, very clear. and healthy boundaries. So in other words, they don't get full free access to your body or time. That needs to be understood. Like, I'm not yours to have, you know, we can schedule, times we can hook up, everything needs to be clear because that's how you keep things from becoming dicey on both sides, right? Otherwise, it becomes situationships. Because I get it, we all have desire. Desire is real. Trust me, I can relate. Desire is very, very real. Um, I have certainly have had situations where, I look back, and things didn't work out in situations, and then you think of maybe stuff like this or something on the sexual nature that you were you recall or you remember and you're like, oh my gosh, like all sweating or whatever, right? um you in these kinds of moments, the only thing I could recommend is that you have to just simply ask yourself a question. Will it be worth it? You know, I know it looks good, right? But you have to ask yourself that, you know, will it be worth it? Because I think sometimes if you've gone without for a while, they call it, the rose colored glasses. Um, Sometimes you forget about everything else. You forget. And then, the sex, you come, what, in a few minutes or whatever. I hate to put it in those terms, but you just have to ask yourself that. So what's, your priority, what's most important to you? And if it is sex, then you. So you really just have to go within and say, hey, right now in this season of my life, sex is what's important. That is all that I want in terms of connecting with own your shit. I tell people that all the time. Own it. Own who you are. Own it. Don't try to, if you're not Captain America, stop trying to act like you're Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to act like you're Captain America. Hell, I mean, just own if you're a slut. I'm being funny now. Don't get offended with that. I'm just saying, just own that. I got respect for people who can do that because you have a right to be you. You have a right to be you. There are plenty of people in this world that will be willing to be with you. Okay? If all you want to do is have sex and you don't have to lie to them, you don't have to play no game, you don't have to act like you love them, you don't have to tell them you love them, you don't have to act like you're in a relationship, you don't have to hide your other holes, and you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do any of none of that. You can be totally you and be like, I got 3 girlfriends, I got 2 of them pregnant, I got, you know what I'm saying? I'm bisexual, I'm You know what I'm saying? Whatever your drama is, you can be that, because there are people who are probably just as odd as you are out there, and will respect you for being so straight up, will totally respect it. Okay, I'm lingering because I feel like it's stuff that needs to be said out there now, because people hide so much. They hide, they play, they deny, and it's really not necessary. We can be free, and so many people, it'll eliminate so much hurt and pain, and confusion, and people's cars won't be being jacked, the tires slit, and I'm saying, this crazy stuff that people be doing. I'm just saying, I mean, thank God, I'm not into that stuff, but I'm trying to educate y'all here. This is 2020, and it's called crimes of passion. Someday people will run into the wrong ones, okay? Folks be snapping, and ain't nobody above it. So I'm just trying to tell y'all what I know. Y'all need to listen to what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to Woo! And technology is too tough now. People can find out whatever they want to know. That's all I'm going to tell you. Whatever they want to know about you. I don't care how sneaky and sly you think you are. And you don't gotta be like me. You ain't gotta be a tarot reader or a psychic. People just need technology, okay? Um, to find out what they want to find out. So it's just not worth it at the end of the day, people. Just keep it real with yourself and folks, okay? Um, it'll save your life. Um, at the bottom, it was the Fool. So again, um, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Um, there you go. Oh, can you guys see this? Okay, yeah. At the bottom was the Fool card, so that's what's got me excited as well. I know I kind of ranted on there for a minute, but sometimes I get messages intuitively too. So you guys forgive me for that because I just roll with it. But I believe stuff that comes to me needs to be said for somebody at some point. You know, it may save somebody's life. That's how I look at stuff. I'm like, stuff might save people's lives. Maybe it'll get to the just right person. Like, snap out of it. Like, come on. Like, save your life. Like, you may come across some crazy dude, like, that's killing folks because you crazy. Like, come on. Or some crazy chick. Like, it ain't that deep. It's just not that serious. Come on. I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all got it. Woo, Lord. Okay, anyway. Okay, so like I was saying, sorry. New beginnings, you guys, are here. So that's telling me that, most of you are ready. You already are putting yourself out there anyway. And you guys are already being presented opportunities. And to me, that is all snaps. It's backed up by the high priestess. Again, here's another pair again, backed up by the high priestess and the king of earth, which is the king of pentacles. Oh, shucks. Mm-mm-mm. Have mercy. Lord have mercy. After struggle, after being burnt. And I say that because I'm going to show you guys this, and it's going to kind of trip you out, this burnt card. But I saw this in a read that I did before on regarding something I went through. And yeah, I know this is kind of grotesque, but yeah, because this is where people are. Actually, in this particular deck, they have a card. I'm not going to show y'all that one too, but in this particular deck, um, when I did a reading regarding something I was going through, I had got that card. And then right after that one, then it was the one that I'm talking about that pointed to like what that person, like they were like on some other something, like they were wilding out like this. And then afterwards, like they had some problems in the area. I looked at that other card, I was like, am I seeing it right? I mean, it wasn't funny. It was actually kind of sad to me. I thought it was kind of sad, but it was kind of funny the way the card. I was like, that's jacked up, But it was wild out, But it's like, yeah, folks be, that's how it be, And so, with that being said, a lot of you have gone through similar things, So coming from being burnt and dealing with people who was just stuck on looking at folks online and doing all kind of extras, right? You guys are moving, like basically the cards are saying that you're moving out of all of that. You've overcome, like you knew more than people thought, that's what's kind of a bummer. You knew more than what people thought you knew. And you're moving out of it. You faced it, you're healing, you're ready. You're ready. And that's beautiful to me. I'm like, that's kind of exciting. I mean, you got the 4 freaking wands, dude. That's the bomb diggity when you're talking about an am I ready to date spread. Don't get no better than that, in my opinion. And you got the king of earth backing it up and the high priestess and the fool card. And, you got some good support, in the background there. So I'm excited about all of that for you guys. So with that being said, let me get to your guys' affirmation and let you guys go here. I'm excited because from what the cards are showing, there's you guys, you went through a lot. I can see that. I can certainly see that. But it looks like the worst is already done and over, and like there's like these fresh new beginnings, so just keep at positivity and meditation, and I certainly recommend getting some energy work done if you haven't already. Yeah, like Reiki, like language, listening to like high frequency, sounds on YouTube. Oh hell. Yeah, certainly. Color therapy, sea salt baths, mantras, anything like that. Continue to work on your chakras, continuing that affirmations, self-love stuff, continuing that stillness, getting in nature, right? To stay at that, set intentions and asking for help. You guys are doing good, but new beginnings are here. So you are ready. Answering the question, you are. You are ready. Just release any complacency and guilt. and you're good. So what are some good positive affirmations for my beautiful friends here that are now ready to date and move on, ready to connect to their sensuality? All right. Ooh. What's something positive and uplifting? Positive in terms of, in terms of moving forward with their dating and sensuality, and good affirmations from my beautiful friends. Okay. Oh, hold on, guys. We're doing it. Give me a second. These are big, so just bear with me. All right. I'll choose 3 affirmations. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so, well, we got sparkle every day. We got make today great and make it happen. So there you have it. You got sparkle every day. So to me, that's saying, hey, just be your personal best. Give it all you have, in terms of your dating and, your sensuality, whatever that means for you. Okay. So just be mindful of that. That'll probably keep you out of that complacency, right? Sparkle every day. I mean, everybody don't have to be glam, so that's not what it's about. But you know what that means for you. What helps you to stay out of your rut, right? What helps you to stay out of that grandma or grandpa feeling. Sparkle every day. Make today great. So whatever that means for you, when it comes for your sensuality, sexuality, dating, maybe it's, tapping into, tantric, researching that or something online, connect to your body or, in a deeper way or something like that. Make it happen. Hey, taking that next step. You know what I'm saying? Respond to someone online who's reached out to you, looking in those profiles or, you know what I'm saying? Making sure you stay on top of that. Don't get complacent, make sure you're responding, every day or, you know what I mean? Just kind of staying with it, staying present with it. So make it happen, right? Not forceful, just staying present, staying connected, staying on top of it, right? There you have it. There you have it. What's at the bottom of the deck? Oh, they're all. Well, that's this. Well, no, did I just put that down there? I think those are the ones I just had. So, my bad. What's at the bottom of the deck? Well, kind of the same thing. Bottom of the deck is let's do this. So, I mean, it doesn't get no more clear than that. So, y'all's got this. We've got this. Let's do this, right? Yeah. Believe in yourself. Look at that. That's right behind it. Believe in yourself. Then, look. Then never give up. So y'all going somewhere. Look at that. Believe in yourself again. Believe. Oh, wow. I was like back to back to back. Dream big. So keep your stakes high. Okay. Don't settle. Don't settle for less than what you really desire. Don't settle. Don't settle. This is a good one. Stay positive. Stay positive. Even when you see like a bunch of jerks or zeros or whatever in your inbox, or like that video I put up when I thought I was going on a date last Saturday, I got to stay at it too. I just got to keep going. It's all good. Stay at it. Right? Yep. All right, guys. Okay, well, let me give you guys a kiss and some good night spray, some white sage and lavender rose to seal. Oh, yeah, that smells good and it feels good actually. Oh, I needed that. Okay. Here's yours. Ooh, baby. And ring for a kiss. Good night. So, with that being said, good night to you all. And hope that resonates, okay? Take care of yourselves, and I hope you guys rest well. Sending you all love and light. Namaste.